Hi, and welcome to the Hofline, your online hotline direct line to the women-only attorneys at Hofheimer Family Law. My name is Katie Carter, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm an attorney with Hofheimer Family Law, a Virginia-based family law firm dedicated to representing women exclusively in divorce, custody, and support cases. And I'm here today with Lori Michaud, who happens to be a veteran family law attorney with over 30 years in practice. And Lori's here to talk with me a little bit more today about military divorce. Thanks so much, Lori, for coming. I really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us today.
Oh, hi, Katie. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I know you love it. It's so much fun to appear on video as opposed to appearing in the courtroom.
It's always fun to be talking to the ladies that are going to be our clients at some point. It's really helpful to be able to reach people that need our help,
and to let them have a little bit of a sense of who we are as people too. And it's just nice to sit in front of a friendly face, I think, when you come in for an initial consultation. So I've just got a couple questions for you about military divorce, because I think a lot of people, especially a lot of military wives and active duty female military service members, have a lot of questions about military divorce. And the general I think idea that most people have is that military divorce and civilian divorce are really different. So can you tell people a little bit about what the differences are between military and civilian divorce?
So in both cases, the parties are looking for a divorce. So there's certainly that similarity. I mean, the end goal is the same. The difference with military is that there's a lot of federal law that comes into play for things like pension and other military benefits. There's a lot of deadlines and there's a lot of jurisdictional issues, all of which have to be taken into account. So it's very important that you go to someone who's knowledgeable about military divorce issues if you're looking for a military divorce. You don't want to blow deadlines. You don't want to miss out on any of the benefits that you're entitled to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's kind of a nightmare situation, right? Like finding out that something you didn't even know existed is going to keep you from something that you desperately need to get everything in order so that you can, start all over again. And it is really interesting in the sense that so many things relating to military divorce are, federal law, when most of the rest of divorce law is practiced on a state-specific level, which is why we always say too, kind of, especially for military people, kind of no matter where you came from, you want to talk to someone, from Virginia, if that's where you guys lived, as husband and wife last, because the state law still does matter, just like in a regular civilian divorce. It's just that you also have these other federal considerations that you're grappling with as well. And it's just a little bit extra complicated, but
it's an interesting interplay between the federal statutes and the Virginia code and the Virginia case law on the topic, and the federal case law as well. It's a very interesting and complex interplay between them.
Yeah, it definitely is. If you had a consult with a military spouse or an active duty female military service member who is looking for a divorce, what do you think are the most important things that you would want her to know about the military divorce process?
So I guess it does depend always on, which side I'm representing or which side I'm consulting with, but the main thing that everybody needs to understand is that you can't go waiving things, and then expect that your lawyer is going to be able to fix that. So there are a lot of points in time when a military service member has the opportunity to get you to waive things. And, as a military spouse, for example, you might be used to signing off on what he puts in front of you. And if you do that in the divorce context, or even if there's a divorce coming down the road, you may very well be waiving things that I can't restore for you. I mean, a great example of that would be the survivor benefit plan. The survivor benefit plan is extremely important for the dependent spouse. In most, not every circumstance, of course, but in most circumstances, extremely important for them. And if they waive it by signing off at the time that he is separating from military service, I can't get it back for you. That's that. It's gone. There's also a lot of myths, I think, surrounding military service and the law, that you owe it to yourself to get some competent advice and not just listen to what somebody is telling you that doesn't have any knowledge on the topic. I mean, a great example of that is the 10-year rule. Just because you have been
Yeah,
married
yeah,
for
yeah.
10 years overlapping military doesn't mean you're not going to get your pension rights under Virginia law. It just means that the Defense Finance and Accounting Service is not going to administer that for you.
Yeah, it's important, I think, to remember too, it's not just that you shouldn't listen to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. In most of the cases that I've seen where this has happened, it's where a husband is deliberately misleading his wife, and she thinks, that she thinks that, oh, he's the military service member, he must know, and so, I clearly am not entitled to this. So if you're getting fed a line from your husband, you have to remember at the point that you guys are talking about divorce, you're not on the same team anymore. It's officially adversarial. And that doesn't mean that you have to, fight each other tooth and nail over every single thing, but it does mean that you should question the information that he's giving you, and then, verify with somebody who would know. It may very well be that he's deliberately trying to mislead you into accepting less than you're entitled to receive under the law, and you really don't want to be in that position. The military pension is often one of the most valuable assets in a military divorce, so you waive it and you've really put yourself in a very difficult position, and one that even someone as experienced as Lori can't necessarily dig you out of. So ask Lori first.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
It is.
Knowledge is power. We give free divorce seminars. You can get some information from our free divorce seminars, and then follow up if you need more specific information. This doesn't have to be terribly costly, but you absolutely need to know your rights and protect yourself.
Yeah. I think that's true whether it's a military divorce, a civilian divorce. No matter what the circumstances are, you need to either do the research yourself, which is probably not all that fun, or let us help you. Like Lori said, we have monthly divorce seminars that you can register to attend, and at the seminars you can ask your questions live to an attorney like Lori or me, who have experience handling Virginia military divorce cases. And on our website at hoflaw.com, we also have a free military guide to divorce as well that has, a lot of the details kind of written out in black and white, so you can, read through and try to understand a little bit better. I don't think that means that you won't have any follow-up questions, because the law is constantly changing and in many cases is confusing, but you just want to make sure you get that information and ask those questions before you get too far down the line.
It is important to know that some of our clients might actually be the service member, and that's important too. They're going to need good advice on both sides of this coin, but I do think that the dependent spouse is probably more accustomed to doing what she's asked by her husband to do. And I think, as you pointed out, it's very important to understand that you're not on the same team, not when somebody is looking to divorce.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You need independent advice, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Lori. I really appreciate you coming to talk to me a little more about this. I know we'll probably explore, military divorce in a little more detail, in future episodes, because I just think there's just so much there, and we've really only begun to scratch the surface. But I really appreciate you coming on today. I think this was really helpful, and I appreciate everyone listening in. I hope it was helpful for you. And again, feel free to visit our website at hoflaw.com. That's HOFLAW.com. We have a divorce and a custody seminar, 4 free books, including, like I said, the one on military divorce specifically, a number of blogs, articles, free reports on some of the more complicated concepts as it relates to divorce and custody, like, for example, relocation, which comes up fairly often in military cases. So definitely check us out. Attend a seminar if you have follow-up questions, and if you're ready to schedule a consultation and get things moving, you really could not do better, especially as a military dependent spouse or active duty military service woman, than meeting with Lori, who has literally done continuing education classes for other lawyers on military divorce. That's how knowledgeable she is. And like I said, these things change a lot. So you really do. It's true, Lori, don't make that face at me. It's true. You really do want to be meeting with someone who does this all the time, because the language is very nuanced. It changes all the time. And, you know, not your attorney not knowing or you not knowing can end up putting you in a position where you might not get everything that you're entitled to. But anyway, thank you again, Lori, and thanks everyone else for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.